Almost every headline you see in the media on the economy ranges from bad to worse. But when you look at the actual job numbers and unemployment rate, a different picture emerges. Here's Rick Smith with more.
First foremost, I agree with James Carville. It's the economy, stupid. Always, it's the economy, which is interesting in the latest polling that so many people think the economy is going in the wrong direction. The latest poll coming out saying that it's better than it's been, but it's not great. 7 in 10 still say that the economy is in poor shape, and half the country says that they're in a worse financial situation than they were a year ago. And greedflation, the gouging that we're seeing at the pumps, at the cash registers. Thank you, corporate America. But this is one of these moments where you go, do you wonder why people think that the economy's doing poorly? Because when you talk to people individually, they're getting by. They're doing okay. They're making cuts. They're doing what they got to do. They're making it. It's not that the economy's terrible. In fact, the numbers are actually moving us in a pretty good direction. I'll get to that in a minute. But our news media, our corporate-controlled news media, who wants us always on edge, don't get too comfortable, I think they got a lot to do with it. I look at the Wall Street Journal, the newspaper of the investor class. Headline, is the resilient job market about to crack? I look at Jamie Dimon, the guru over at J.P. Morgan Chase, saying that, that banking crisis, not over, and it's going to cause repercussions for years to come. In fact, he says that a recession risks have increased because of all of this. It's all bad. And we see this. Our news media is great at this. It's terrible. It's horrible. Things are bad. Be afraid. Be angry at whoever's in the White House. And look, the White House is doing, I got to tell you, I think they're doing a great job. The job numbers came out today. Another 236,000 jobs were added in the month of March. We now have unemployment at 3.5%. And here's the and my Republican friends will say, yes, but job participation. Yeah, participation rates are back to pre-pandemic levels. So now that argument's going away. And what's interesting to me is that, and this is what I love about Joe Biden. From Trump, we heard, how wonderful he was. We heard it was infrastructure every week. There was always a shindig or a gala at the White House, him playing with trucks, him wearing funny looking hats, all kinds of stuff. Didn't do anything. Had great rhetoric, had really good social media. Hey, look at me. Wanted the spotlight. Spoke glowingly about all the things that he thought he did. But we got a guy in the White House who doesn't speak very well, doesn't say very much, and is actually just doing the job. There's more than 2.6 million, 12.6 million jobs have been created under his watch. Now, this is one of those little factoids that I found quite entertaining. The fact that in just two years and a couple of months under Biden, he's now created more jobs than every Republican president of my lifetime. Think about that. In just 2 years, he's created more jobs, 12.6 million jobs, than every Republican president of my lifetime. Now, during the 16 years of Bush, and Trump, 1.9 million jobs were created during their tenure. The Clinton-Obama era, that 16-year era, 33.8 million jobs were created. And understand, the Clinton years were good for a reason. What was that reason? Oh, yeah, we raised taxes on rich people. What's another little cute factoid before I get into the Biden numbers. Since 1988 and the end of the Cold War, the U.S. has seen 48 million new jobs created. 46 million of those 48 million were created under Democratic presidents. Let that just swirl around. Because again, we're told that, the Republicans are the party of business And they are. They're the party of business because business profits have gone through the roof. We've done away with redundancies. We've crushed those pesky unions. Profits through the roof. Working people, again, who need jobs, they get screwed under Republican administrations time and time again. And somehow we seem to have a large number of working class folks going, I'm going to vote for them. It's really just quite remarkable to me. Now, as we said, 12.6 million new jobs in the last 26 months. Unemployment rate 3.5%. 236,000 jobs in the month of March. This is good. This is good news. This is moving us in the right direction. This is moving us in a direction of creating opportunities for folks. I remember during the Trump years, we all heard about how low the black unemployment rate was. Well, record levels of black unemployment right now under Joe Biden. So no more Trump talking point. And as I said, labor participation rates are back, highest level since the pandemic. GDP growth. There's been some work done on inflation. Things are coming down. But here's the thing, and this is the part that gets me. Again, I have people saying, Rick, why you beat up on the Republicans so much? Other than the fact that Republicans hate working people, right now they're holding the country hostage. This idea that we're not going to pay our bills is insane. Absolutely insane. They are holding the country hostage. And I think right now they truly do want to shoot the hostage. They truly, and that hostage is us, but they truly do. And what we know is going to happen, if you don't raise the debt ceiling, if you don't do this, we're going to have, don't take it from me. Take it from Mark Zandi. Mark Zandi is the guy over at Moody's Analytics who has said, look, if Republicans don't allow the debt ceiling to be raised, it's going to plunge us into the much wanted and wished for recession of the Wall Street Journal and the Jamie Dimons of the world. They're going to get their wet dream. It's going to happen. Also, it's going to cost 7 million jobs, more than double the unemployment rate. And what does that mean? That means you, me, and working people are going to suffer. Why? Because of their ideology. GDP is going to drop by 4%. The stock market's going to drop by 20%. It's going to wipe out trillions in wealth. And seniors are going to get screwed. This is what Republicans are. It's what they want to do. And it's all because they want to stop spending. And this is one of those interesting kind of moments where you go, I have people tell me, well, Rick, don't you know, our debt is huge, 30-some trillion dollars. And you go, yeah, it is. We should pay that back. We should start thinking about that. In fact, I'm old enough to remember a moment in history sometime around 1999, early 2000, where Alan Greenspan, the Fed chair at the time, said, we're going to be debt-free, and we don't know what to do when we're debt-free because we've never done that before. What's the world going to look like? Rest assured, Alan, history brought us George W. Bush, who just blew that right out of the water. In fact, I look at my lifetime. Reagan takes the Oval Office. We're about $1 trillion in debt. And then we go on this tax cut fetish. We got to give more to the wealthy. We got to give more to big business. This idea of trickle down. And I'm sure you've heard of this. They sold it to us. It was going to be heaven on earth. Manna from heaven was going to flow down. It was going to be rivers of gold and honey, and it was going to be beautiful. It was going to be amazing. Everyone was going to be a millionaire. Everyone was going to have the corner office. It was going to be great. We're going to get rid of all that New Deal stuff. We're going to crush those unions. It's going to be great. We're all going to be individuals, and we're all going to have the most toys. It's going to be fabulous because greed is good. And what did we do? Well, we created the largest billionaire class in the history of civilization. Yay us. While simultaneously creating a massive debt. Massive amounts of debt. And how did that happen? Well, you look at the Reagan tax cuts, massive tax cuts. You look at George H.W. Bush came into office and said, wow, this is bad. We've got to raise taxes. And he lost. Clinton raised taxes a little bit. And then the Bush years just crushed it. And we're moving in this direction where things are bad. Now, again, I come back to this moment where I'm hoping that we're not going to get to the end of the road and Republicans aren't going to crush our economy, aren't going to hold us hostage and shoot the hostage on the other end. I'm hoping that this isn't where we're going. But the sad reality is we're in a moment where if Republicans get their way, if the wet dream happens, we're going to struggle for it.